Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to have a debate regarding which one is the better president, President Ferdinand Marcos or President Rodrigo Duterte. Now, let's start. And now let's begin with the opening remarks of the side of President Duterte. The timer starts in 3, 2, 1.
I would like to thank the opposing side and the judge for being here. The president of our country is President Rodrigo Duterte. There is something about our president that sets him intensely apart from all other Philippine presidents we have had. He was one of the longest serving mayors in the Philippines, having been the mayor of Davao City for 7 terms, totaling more than 22 years, and with a long time of serving Davao City, he transformed it into a very safe and well-organized place. He has the ability to move people to support his causes and go out of their way to back him. He was also heavily criticized for being a womanizer and very vulgar with the words that he used when being interviewed. But despite the attitude that he displays, he is still the most excellent president we have had and still have. Perhaps it is because people see that he came to his job prepared with a clear understanding of the country's major problems and a vision of how to get things done. His promise that change will come is fast unfolding as a reality on many fronts. On his campaign, promised that he will stop crime and fight illegal drugs, we have seen thousands of drug pushers and users of illegal drugs voluntarily surrendering to authorities all across the country. He also changed the Philippines' stance on world politics, changing from the side outside of the Americans towards that of neutrality.
Okay, time. And with that, let's move on to the cross-examination. Timer starts in 3, 2, 1.
As you said earlier, he promised that change will come in his hands. So would you say that thousands of people dying because of his war against drugs is one of his plans to have a change in our society? Is the type of president that the Philippines you want to have is a womanizer and very vulgar with the words he used when interviewed? He can be a good role model as a leader of our country, because a good leader must be professional and decent.
Okay, time's up. And now for the side of President Marcos. May you please start your opening remarks. Timer starts now.
The Marcos regime has made the Philippines a disciplined country and has even placed the nation on the world stage. Aside from that, because of what the Filipinos experienced during that time, they have actually learned how to fight and be zealous for their freedom. When the martial law was implemented, the whole country became extremely disciplined. One notable change that the Filipinos have never forgotten was the strict observation of curfew. Just walking along the sidewalk past the curfew time and the police would make some disciplinary actions. That is why once the curfew time starts, the streets are as quiet as a mouse and everybody is stuck in their respective home, safe and sound. With this strict policy, crime rates totally went down the brink. In fact, during the time of Marcos, cases of murders, theft, and other similar offenses became so rare since the military was visible, present, and on guard all the time. This kind of discipline, although strict in its nature, has given Filipinos the opportunity to compare what it was before and what it is now. If people compare the kind of discipline the Filipinos experienced during the Marcos regime to the present, the big difference might just make one thing again. Truth be told, Filipinos of today have become extremely undisciplined.
Okay, time's up. And with that, let's move on to the cross-examination. The timer starts now.
Based on what you said, in the reign of former President Ferdinand Marcos, the martial law was implemented, right? And strict observation of curfew was one of the notable changes. But what if that disciplinary action you have mentioned was against their rights, such as torturing them? You also mentioned the rarity of crime was also observed during his administration, but don't you think that was because they hide it from the people? What was the reason people wanted freedom? Is it because someone took that freedom away?
Timer stops. Thank you. And now for the rebuttal from the side of President Duterte. Timer starts in 3, 2, 1.
Innocents have died because of the negligence of the people who are not incompetent under the banner of the campaign against drug, but you cannot blame it all on the president. And as far as I know, the morality of a person is not a qualification for being a president. When a president approves a law, he does not base it around his moral integrity, but in the welfare of the people. If all the presidents need to have a perfect morality, then no one can be a president.
Okay, time. Thank you. And now for the rebuttal from the side of President Marcos. Timer starts in 3, 2, 1.
To answer your question, while the means are unsatisfactory, you cannot deny that the results are more than competent compared to the other presidents. As for the reason why the records of crime are mishandled, that is mostly because most of those crimes are caused by the opposing faction whose aim was to cause disorder and overthrow the ruling faction of President Marcos. What kind of captain would leave holes unattended, which would lead this ship into sinking?
Time. Thank you very much. And now for the closing remarks from the side of President Marcos. Timer starts in 3, 2, 1.
Although martial law was declared, he still thinks for his people. Remember the power plant that was built in Bataan? That would be our source of electricity today and could save us from too much expenses if it was approved. Remember the Heart and Lung Center in the Philippines which was made for us. Let us not forget what good things the President made for his country. If the projects they had were for the people and doing things for people is good, then Marcos' administration
Time.
did good things.
Thank you. A closing remark for the side of President Duterte. Timer starts in 3, 2, 1.
The reason President Duterte is the best president is because he is confident about what he wants for the country. We would rather choose someone who is true to himself and is dedicated to fighting crimes and wrongdoings, with the proof of his great leadership skills and, more importantly, has a plan for the country, rather than choosing someone who's acting like a saint in front of the masses to gain the sympathy of the people with their lies and broken promises.
Okay, time. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. Now may you please acknowledge your opponents. Well, everyone, thank you very much. Now, to conclude this debate, I would like to announce that through all of my judgment, I think the winner for this debate is the side of President Marcos. However, there could be differences in another debate because of time. President Duterte has only started his reign for 1 year, while the other has much more time. But for now, it's President Marcos. Thank you very much.